Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday, the 29th of September, 2025. It is 5:47 p.m. and I have just started our 5:30 class recording for the Monday and Wednesday group. We are starting all recordings this week a bit later because we are doing some private tutorial or correction or round of questions, whatever the student needs. And then we proceed to do the update, reminding of what we did last week, explaining the plan, and going to today's topic. For today's class, we have a super challenge, something just to exercise our decision making when it is time to write an essay. And after that, we are gonna work on the conclusions, thinking especially about the TOEIC format. So let's go step by step. First of all, let's click on the outline and we are gonna have our week 9 update, which was last week. Last week was basically to write essays without conclusions. This was one. And another important feature of last week's classes is that we had asynchronous work on Thursday, and the students were supposed to share those documents with me or their documents with me so that I could correct them for you before the next class. All right, and then that brings us to this week 10 plan. As we were granted 2 more weeks, we still have 1 month ahead of us, which is good news. We can work on the essays. Everybody can solve those doubts while we are practicing on the TOEIC speaking exam format. And after we do everything, hopefully we are gonna finish everything here, and that's gonna give us a bit resting time from grammar for class 2, in this case Wednesday class. Okay, so let's go to the super challenge. I will unshare because you cannot see the document or you cannot see the prompt until it is the very last second. Then I will grant you I will grant you 1 minute and 30 seconds, just in case. And the super challenge, students, consists of brainstorming about, I'm sharing everything, not only the timer, sorry. Here and here. So consists of reading the prompt, making a decision, yes or no, agree or disagree, and thinking about the 3 key points you are going to explain. Remember, the brainstorming and outlining is not mandatory. You don't need to write your brainstorming when you do the exam, but it is always good to have it in front of you in any case. If you get blocked, if you get nervous, whatever. It is always good to have the 3 key points there so you don't deviate and you go straight to the point. Then you can choose from A or B. Jorge, what letter do you want, A or B for your challenge?
B.
B. Sec. Okay, so this is, okay, now you can open the common document and you can please click on super challenge on the outline and look for the super challenge letter B. As soon as you finish reading the prompt, I will start the timer.
Letter B. Finish.
Okay, off you go. Okay, so tell me, Jorge, yes or no?
No.
Okay, you don't agree the parents should be charged. What would
Uh,
you explain on your body paragraphs to prove that?
Already that is not the best option. My first point, and also the strongest, is that things are difficult to control. So it doesn't matter what the parents do. Things could always go do things their way. Uh,
Right.
the second point would be that it's better to teach sexual education in schools so that teens can know the consequences of not using protection. And then I have a third point, but I'm not very sure about it. That is that isn't that appears on many series from the United States that of the that class about raising a sack of flour, an egg, family reading. Uh,
Meaning that the family,
no, that the ah, I have gone up with a third point, but it's too late. That would be the family uh, should family should be more open about these topics, but it came too late.
well, nothing says that you cannot change one of the key points while you were writing. So imagine that this happens while you were writing. You are writing the introduction and you just decided to go with a um, different key point. You can perfectly save the one you are changing for the last, and
It,
there's nothing wrong about it.
it was the last, so no issue
So the family rearing thing is about like the crianza respetuosa. Is it something like that?
there. I don't know how do they call it. It's have you seen those American series? In, no, that
Mm,
about
no.
school when the teacher gives the students a bag of flour, an egg, a doll, something like that, and they tell, and now you are the parents, and you have to
Uh-huh. So the kids take the main role, maybe?
showing the kids the work it takes to raise a child. but I don't. I'm not sure that's good. So better it's better to use the other one of the uh, be more open in family.
Mm-hmm. This is what they say here. Family hearing, rearing, or child rearing, upbringing is the entire process of providing the care, nurturing, and guidance necessary to support a child's physical, emotional, social. It
So the thing I was saying was a class project uh, about that something like this.
mm-hmm.
But better be more open in family about.
I think so because this is like a behavioral trend among new parents, and maybe it is not controversial for young people, but it is controversial for people my age, especially when I have raised four kids in the old
Uh,
fashioned way, a bit
yeah,
more open,
but
of course,
but
but
this I think they call them in the series parent classes.
mm-hmm,
Uh, it will be the children who take those classes and then they learn how much work it is to be a parent.
mm, that's interesting. Yeah, I think this then is not the word we're looking for. Let's look for parenting classes,
Yeah,
maybe
parenting classes.
parenting class.
Uh, yeah, that one. No, I think that's for adults. So, although this one is so, it's something they do. I don't know at what level because I've seen that in series about different levels of education.
Do
So
you remember the series name?
no. It's many series.
Many.
So it's if there is a series with children going to school or high school or whatever, there will always be one episode about the kids taking that class.
In here says the parenting classes is for the parents to be better parents. I'm curious. I'm very curious. A parent education, parenting skills. What's a parent class? What is parenting? Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, it is not what you are saying. I think it's very, very interesting. Whatever it is, and if it is family hearing or parenting classes, whatever you want to call it, I think it's a very, very interesting discussion should be held in the essay. Very, very interesting, to be honest. I would rather talk about that. But unfortunately, we don't know any. Okay, I have my proficiency teacher. He's from Chicago. I might hit his WhatsApp while you are doing something. I will write a message to him. He normally takes more than 3 4 days to answer, but as soon as he answer, I will make sure that I let you know. Okay, if this hits his mind somehow. All
okay.
right, but it is really really interesting. Wait, what is this? All right, so we can start. We have done your super challenge. You didn't doubt for a second. This is what we are looking for. Yes or no? No. Why? This, and that. If in the process you realize you don't want something, it's all right. You change it in the last minute and you fix whatever you have to fix. Okay? That's also one of the advantages of having this. Imagine if the student is a B2 transitioning to a C1 or even a B1 transitioning to a B2 level, and they think about the two key points and they don't write it. Probably they are going to ramble when they talk about it because everything is going to be mixed and they normally ramble if they don't have it in front of them. So well done. Let's go with today's content, okay? I have added to our document the explanations and the details about the conclusion that we have here. Can you read for us, please? Just let me close here. And you can read until the last underlined word.
Uh, Draw a logical arrow through the body paragraphs and point it at your opinion. The conclusion is a place to remind the reader of your evidence and make your point. The conclusion is the last part of an opinion essay. Is the last part of an opinion essay. It comes after the two other important parts of an opinion: the introduction and the reasons, explaining the body. A conclusion should restate and synthesize your opinion. That is the most important part of a concluding statement in an opinion essay.
Okay. In other words, your conclusion is an inverted introduction. Because in the introduction, your thesis statement, whatever you're going to prove, and in your case, your thesis statement are very strong. For example, why my belief is that working from an office should be a thing of the past. So the thesis is there and you're going to prove with your explanations. So probably this is the very first sentence of your conclusion, because after having explained everything, you are going to conclude, wrap your explanations in a single paragraph.
I must have been very tired when I was writing that because I'm pretty sure I have written why and not what.
Mm, you probably were very, that's another thing that I said. So I think I can accept it for you, right?
Yes.
Here. All right, and you can analyze the others later. Okay, so that's basically it. A conclusion should restate and synthesize your opinion, summarizing everything, wrapping everything, and most importantly, you need to mention your key points. Differently stated, of course, restated. That's where you can read, that's when you can read the second part of our explanation.
Uh, some writers also summarize the reasons in their conclusion or leave the reader with a fun question or something to think about. Others remain academic. It's up to you. In a general way, to write a good conclusion, make sure you 1. Restate your topic and why it is important. 2. Restate your thesis or claim with specific statements and strong concluding phrases. You can use double comparisons, for instance. They are of the level and strong enough. Uh, 3. Explain why readers should align with your position. 4. Call for action or overview of future research possibilities. In this case, you can use a if-only sentence that will clearly claim for action and show great grammar level at the same time.
Okay, so basically restating everything. To restate, we need variety of vocabulary, and I would save a if only or even a double comparison for the conclusion because they are strong enough to express a conclusion. Okay, And you can do maybe maybe the student doesn't have enough vocabulary to do all of them, but we need at least the restating the thesis statement, re-mentioning the key points. If the students struggle to have wide variety of vocabulary, what you can do, a strategy, is changing grammatical categories. Let me remember, which student was it? I don't know if I'm gonna remember which student was it. One sec. It's Daniela. Okay, so this is what she did afterwards. No, this is not corrected. This is corrected. Okay. So if you read this conclusion, can you read it?
To sum up, after the discussion in this essay, it is crystal clear that sports are essential in people's lives. Everybody feels good when watching them on TV and playing sports because of several benefits, such as stronger relationships, dream realization through strict discipline applied in every aspect of one's life, and improved health condition.
Okay. By reading the conclusion, you know what's they say about. What's they say about?
Uh, this is about if sports are good for people or are important for people.
Okay.
The person is all for it.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. So you can say that, you can notice that she applied the markers, the conclusional markers and our sentences. She used something catchy and very convincing. It is crystal clear. If you don't see it, it's because you don't want it. It is crystal clear that sports are essential in people's lives. Let's see the introduction. Look at where the same information is in the thesis statement. Remember that I said that it is an introduction inverted?
Mirror.
Mm-hmm. So this is say we will examine why sports are crucial for everybody. And she starts the conclusion saying that it's crystal clear that sports are essential in people's lives. Then the key points. One, several benefits. One, two, and three. All right. So this is it. And then in the common document, and I wanted to mention changing the grammar category, right? So for example, in here on the first paragraph, let's see. Okay, here, strengthen their relationships. If they watch TV together, sports or whatever, they bond better. And in here she says, instead of saying strengthen relationships, she's using the adjective or the comparison as stronger relationships, right? And then dream realization through strict discipline was second paragraph.
Inspired dream.
Inspired dreams. Okay, stay disciplined. Work hard. To work hard. Truth, strict discipline, and dream realization. So you can play with the grammar category to show level and to vary and not fall into repetition. Okay? And then we have the main ingredients of the conclusion. What are they, Jorge?
Uh, Conclusion paragraph ingredients. The first sentence summarizes any big result or conclusion of the paper. Restatement of your thesis statement. 2 to 3 sentences summarizing the supporting points or body paragraphs. Usually you write one sentence per supporting point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is the main ingredients for our conclusion. And we have here some conclusion starters, and we have also some sentences that the students can use in you as they please. Okay? And I think that's it. If you don't have any questions, I will ask you to write a conclusion
Uh, for which? Of them.
for, I will tell you in a moment. Just a sec. And your will be 8 minutes because officially well, everything is corrected on your document. So you don't need to revise the whole essay as you would. But officially, we have trained with 22 minutes for intro and body paragraphs. That would leave you the 8 remaining minutes of the 30 minutes you're going to be allowed, right? That's why I am providing you with 8 minutes. It might not be your case, but we should respect the timing for the students watching. So let's allow the timer to finish, and then we correct yours, all right? So now, everybody, in my case, I will tell Jorge which essay he should write the introduction for, but as people are watching, I cannot do the same for them. So you can write the conclusion for the first essay without the conclusion that you wrote on your document. And in the case of Jorge, let's see, this was the last one. Yeah, go for practice number 8. And your time starts now. Okay, so let's go. I have just read this essay this earlier this morning, so I remember quite well. Let's see. In short, as explained, forcing people to do charity work is clearly counterproductive. The tediousness of it will neither make them more compassionate nor more aware of what those in suffering are experiencing. And their rebelliousness makes it nigh impossible for them to foster respect for others in such a situation. There are better ways to do that, and we must find how to best move their hearts so that they develop their own empathy and decide to help those in need for themselves. Very well done. So I remember saying that if it's forced, it's not natural, right?
Uh,
Born for compassion. They are again rebellious against imposition, and then if they understand it as a core, maybe this is it.
it's a chore, it's tedious.
Mm-hmm. Yes, maybe. Um, choose. For example,
Didn't know that that word.
to do. This is a to do. So your TFM is a to do on your master's
No, no,
degree
I understand what it means. I just didn't know it existed.
that you could use that way. Okay, here you have one more, maybe, and then we refer to the course because if they are forced and imposed, it is a to do for them being imposed, and that will surely connect this to the course that you mentioned before. Rebellious, the course, and what was the other one?
Respect.
This one, right? I know. Finally, and tied to the former point, respect for others is unlikely to sprout.
Most respect.
Uh, okay, there you go. There you go. Perfect. Well done. Very well done. I only suggested this because I wanted to indeed connect the intro to your key points. Okay? But of course we can understand it. All right, Mr. Jorge. Now I am going to provide you with one essay from a book. That doesn't mean the essay is perfect. It will probably bring mistakes. So my suggestion is that you copy and paste it afterwards so that you keep the original and you notice the changing you are doing on it, the changes you will do on it. Okay? Again, I will unshare the screen and I will ask you, Jorge, one number from 1 to 24.
Uh, 17.
13?
17, 17.
17. One sec. So people, you can refer to the examples of essays book on the common document. Don't go there, Jorge. I will copy and paste for you. 17. So I am copying the essay without the conclusion to your document. Correct. Sorry, write the conclusion for the following essay. And correct any possible, no, any mistakes and improve whatever you want. So officially, your time for the conclusion and revision is 8 minutes, right? Hold on, because it's not complete yet. This is the first part of the... this is the brainstorming. Okay. Okay. And here you have the brainstorming and prompt. And I will take the Thailand, whatever language that is. Okay. All right. And your time starts now. Students watching, you can refer to the examples of essays book on the common document and copy and paste essay 17, sorry, and write the conclusion and fix any mistakes that you identify there. And you will have, now it's not 8 minutes anymore, it is 7. And your time starts now. Okay, I am writing to the teacher asking about that uh, subject in school. So just give me 1 sec. What we call in Spain, criança respetuosa. Do you know? Okay, let's see if he answers me this week, and I will let you know. All right, now I will share everything and we can correct for you. This is Jorge. All right, so this is the original. And it is normal that you're fixing the mistakes because you didn't write it. So, this is the original, comma, more in detail. Recognition is uncountable. Extensive experience. Did you change that?
No, I had to. I changed a couple of things, but I have to skim it quite fast to.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I see. Okay, in here, in more detail, um, personally, I'll not change my initial career choice based on the fact that when you commit yourself to one field, you will be able to gain intensive or extensive work experience, improve career advancement opportunities, and lighten the workload. I think Andy is better.
Yeah, it is. I
The
want.
following say we will explain these points in more detail. To commence with, reminding everybody watching that this is not Jorge's. Jorge's wrote the conclusion and he was on the process of fixing the mistakes in here. To commence with, those who continually focus on the skills, they they excel at will acquire a better knowledge of them. It is research.
I fixed one thing there uh, because it said a broad knowledge. It doesn't make sense in the
This.
because broad would be if you didn't stick to one thing. Sticking to one thing makes it deep knowledge. Not,
Mm-hmm. Not broad
not
knowledge. I agree. A better knowledge of them. It is reasonable to say that one is unable to comprehend everything after a few years, regardless of what field it is. they work at. Therefore, the more they study, okay, double comparison, the more they can strengthen their skills and experience in that area. For instance, a person who has specialized in the accounting field for many years will certainly have a greater depth of knowledge and be able to deal with difficult and unexpected situations. Secondly, sticking to the things that you already do well will give you the opportunity or will give you opportunities,
Yeah.
right?
I will use the.
Allow you, you mean? Or
No,
give you opportunities?
no,
This?
uh,
Okay.
the opportunity.
To
Uh,
advance your career. Well, this is not a problem for you because you don't overuse it. You were already conscious of not overusing the article. But the students who are yet in the process, they should be careful with the articles, all right? Specifically, employers tend to give an employee a promotion as recognition, uncountable, of his or her long-term commitment to the company. In addition, important positions of a company,
in a company.
if we are talking about the company right here, I don't think we need to mention the company again. You know what I mean?
Uh, I didn't. I was.
So here, in addition, important positions frequently belong to loyal employees due to the fact that those workers have extensive experience and excellent skills. Finally, a balanced and appropriate workload is another leading factor that one could benefit from a stable career. A balanced and appropriate workload is another leading factor that one could benefit from a stable career before jumping into a completely new field.
I think they meant instead of, because they are saying not to do the jump.
You mean instead of,
Instead of,
in place of before?
exactly.
It is fine. Instead of jumping into a completely new field. Clearly, an experienced employee is familiar with their work.
Yeah, because for a long time
Yeah, hold on. Clearly
has familiarized
has been, sorry,
has familiarized himself or herself.
for example, familiarizing and
Themselves.
a, it is the timeline. Clearly, an experienced employee is familiarized with their work for a long time because they are, okay, I know the present perfect, but so for the reason handling business is less challenging and easier for them. Now,
Now,
So for that reason, Ren, or say, as he did that for a long time, and we can justify the present perfect, handling business is, as a consequence, less challenging and easier for them. As a result, the work will take up less time than a new employee, which helps them to have more time for family, friends, and
Should be for a new
other
employee
interest. What was that? Take up less time than,
for
yeah, for their work will take up less time than, which helps them to have more time for family, friends, and other personal interests. And now comes your conclusion. In conclusion, developing your already existing skills is by far the better choice. All right. You become more adept at them the more you train them. You become more
adapt
uh,
your skills.
at your skills. Hold on. You
Uh,
didn't try to do the double comparison, right?
uh, I'm not sure what a double comparison is.
The
So
double comparison is when, well, it's a emphasis writing tool. A simple example could be the more you work,
the better you. Okay.
the
Ah,
higher your
uh,
salary will be,
yeah,
for
something
example.
like that. I was doing something like that.
Okay, then we need to invert it. So, because
The more you train them,
training
yeah,
comes first, then being more adept. What comes first? Training, right? So,
that's inside even. Uh,
the more you train them, the
more adept you become.
adept, the
The more adept you become,
the more, yeah, the more adept you become. That's correct. So the consequence goes always at the end of the double comparison.
okay.
Something that will likely result in career advances by making you more appealing to those above. And it also makes your life easier by lightening the burden of unfamiliar work. What do you mean by unfamiliar? Work
Uh,
that you have never performed before?
it's like the last point that they say that the work takes less time for those that have training than for new employees uh, because they are more familiarized with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The burden of unfamiliar work. Okay. Now let me read everything corrected. In conclusion, developing your already existing skills is by far the better choice. Superlative. The best choice of all, right?
Uh, yeah,
The more you train them, the more adept you become. Something that will likely result in career advances. I think that we can use a semicolon here. Something that will likely result in career advances by making you more appealing to those above. And it also makes your life easier by lightening the burden of unfamiliar work. Allow me. just because we want to be strong in the conclusion. And you do that very well in the introductions. You have strong introductions and strong
I,
sentences.
I was searching for a way to make it stronger, but the time.
The time doesn't help, right? Well, it is the first practice for the, and on top of that, you had to correct everything on here, in here. So the next time will be for sure better. Would you like to do one more? I can give you one more, but then you can read. They say ignore completely ignore the mistakes, analyze only the key points, and write your introduction. Then you
Okay.
can focus those 8 minutes in indeed writing the conclusion, the strong that I know you can.
Okay.
All right. Pick a number from 1 to 24 that is not the 17.
12.
12. Any students watching, the same for you. In this case, we don't have a prompt, but with time, we learn to identify the topics very, very easily. Okay, this is the first part. And this is the last part. So students watching, please don't look at the book. You can, well, of course, you need to copy and paste, but don't look at the conclusion. And there you go. You can finish now if you can. Can you?
Yeah, I
All
can.
right, because we don't have time to correct. We correct on the next class and we rest a bit from writing because the next class, when you are going to write the whole essay in 30 minutes, people watching, if you join the class, and the students that probably didn't come today because they were 2 or 3, I think, missing. When you come, you have to have your camera on and the phones are going off and nobody needs to enter the room. So before we start the activity, I will ask everybody if they are hydrated, if they need to go to the restroom, if they need to answer an important call, whatever. We are going to mock the essay exam in class. All right? Okay, Mr. Jorge, thanks for coming. Thanks for the camera. I appreciate it. And I'll see you back on Wednesday, no, on Thursday.
Okay.
All right.
Until Thursday. Uh, uh, 8 minutes. Huh?
Yes, we are finished. You are dismissed.
No,
Thanks a lot.
8 minutes. The counter.
Say
Uh,
that again.
for the conclusion, 8 minutes.
8 minutes. That's correct.
Okay. See you Thursday.
All right. See you Thursday. You have a great evening.